Okay, this is the bar that I use for a resistance band. There are two versions here. This one was the original version that I bought, and I've been using this for about 6 months. And this original setup that I used a pair of climbing carabiners, good ones. These are, or decent ones at least. These are the Black Diamond band. You can find these in REI. And this was an idea that I got off of the maker of the squat harness. This is basically a hammock strap, I guess they call it. But what this allows me to do, instead of having the awkward fit of the band going through this climbing carabiner, I basically use this strap kind of as a holder for the band, which works great on the wide bands because I actually do go that wide. I go to the I think it's 1.75 inches, and then there's I think it's two and a half inch, 3 inch, and maybe even 3.5 inch. Anyway, I use that to get the wide bands in there. So this disappeared for a while off of Amazon, and I couldn't find it. I was a little bit disgruntled because I wanted the second version because I love this so much. Basically, because I have two locations for working out, and I also wanted one to be a strictly travel bar band or bar, so that I didn't have to pack it up. It's always in the bag. Now, this is the newer version, which, as you can see, they added instead of so the old version has the kind of the circular loop. I put the carabiner in that, and then the strap around it. And this one here has kind of a triangular. Both of these are it's kind of like bearing based, but ball bearing, so it's not a rough. It's a very smooth rotation here. They rotate, which is kind of cool. But this has instead of it has that triangular shape, but it also has these triangular. I guess you can call them carabiners as well. But these are very nice to use with the flat band. The only disadvantage is that they're not that wide. So I'm going to show you how the respective fits look now. Okay, so this is the original bar, and the one thing I didn't show you is that the bar is segmented. It should be obvious at this point. And you can either make it a short bar or a long bar. Most of the time, I use the short bar. I've done the long bar typically for rows, but I kind of prefer the short bar in most cases, most instances. But if it's really a matter of preferences. I don't bench press with this. I usually use handles. But let me just show you how. Okay, and basically this is how your tension would look. So you see the strap is basically, and you would do your movement. So mostly I do rows with this, upright rows. I bring it up to my shoulders, do some military presses. But that's how this works. But the advantage of this setup, even though it's a little bit more awkward to set up than as I'll show you on the second version of the band, the advantage of this setup is you get to use a very wide bar. Now, nothing stops you from using that carabiner and adding this strap on the wide bar. So, I mean, I guess you kind of have the best of both worlds with the new setup. But anyway, that's how this looks, okay? And here is the new version. As you can see, the triangular carabiners, they're very compatible with the flat bands. It's easier to set up, and you also get slightly more tension since I don't have the strap between the carabiner and the belt and the band. So it's very nice. I used it to work out today. This was my first day using this one, but I've been very happy with the original Trad bar. Again, I used the short configuration, but also this has 3 segments that you can make a long configuration with too. And I'm also going to mention the board. I prefer to work out with a footboard. This one is from Mike at Hybrid Resistance. If you inbox him, he'll give you some information on that. I think he's still selling them, but it's a great board, $100, and it's really, I think it's just a great. I like having a platform. It's much more stable than using your feet underneath the band, and also, in my opinion, preserves the life of the band. So anyway, that's my short but sweet demonstration of the Tribe bar. These can be found on Amazon. Excellent product. I love both versions. The old version is discontinued, but I think the new version is somewhat of a step in the right direction, I would say. What would be really nice is wider triangles to accommodate the wider bar, the wider bands that wider resistance bands. But at this point, I do use the extra wide resistance bands, but I generally don't use them with the bar. For squatting, I use the squat harness, and for benching, I basically use hooks, the handle hooks, which I'll do a video on that some other time. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I hope this was helpful. Thank you.